On today's episode of What Not to Do Wednesdays, stop maxing out your credit cards. You have to keep your credit utilization down to 30% on each individual card and your total credit usage, okay? Here's the trick to that. You can make the minimum payment on your payment due date. That's fine. The key is on your statement due date, you want to get that down as much as you can, okay? And once you do that, it will effectively show that you are managing debt effectively. So let's give an example. Let's say you have $1,000 credit limit credit card and you've spent $800 this month, okay? We're going to talk about 2 ways to effectively raise your credit score, okay? Step 1 is the initial one-time way of doing it. You've spent $800. You make the minimum payment on the due date. Let's say your due date is the 15th. You make that minimum payment of, let's say, $50, okay? Then you have the statement date, which they send your credit history for that month to the credit bureaus to then affect your credit, okay? What you do is before that statement date, let's say your statement date is the 17th of every month, you want to make a drastic payment on the 16th so that when they send it on the 17th, it will show that you made the minimum payment, but you also made a drastic payment, getting your credit limit down to that below or at 30% credit usage. So what is 30% of $1,000? $300. So you want to get it down to $300. So yes, you've made that minimum payment on the due date on the 15th, but what's included in that? Interest. Whatever your APR is, it could be 20%, 25%, 12%. It can vary based on your credit profile. However, let's say your interest, it pays $25 out of the 50. That means your payment was only $25. So that didn't do anything to your credit score when you made that minimum payment. It does nothing. So what you want to do is pay down. Now, since it only took $25, you have to pay, you spent $800, only took off $25, so now you owe $775. You want to pay $475. So you can now be at 30% credit usage, okay? So that's the drastic way, making one big dramatic payment to get yourself to that 30%. The second way to effectively manage debt and to pay down this credit, let's say you cannot make a big payment of $475. You can do a month-by-month step process. How this works is each month, after or before you make your minimum payment, you make a drastic payment. So you could pay $100, pay $150, pay $200, month by month. Make a drastic payment, which is a smaller drastic payment, but still a drastic payment. And it will show that each month you are effectively tackling that debt to get it down to the credit utilization threshold. And so let's do an example. You spent $800 initially, which got you at 80% credit utilization, which is very high, okay? And when you made that minimum payment, it only took $25 because of the interest to attack the principal of the credit. So now you owe, what, 800 minus 25, 775. So now the credit bureaus are going to report that you owe $775 out of this $1,000 credit card, okay? You are now at 77.5% credit utilization or credit usage. That's still very high, but we have a plan. We're going to be making the payments over time, right? So now, next month, you pay down $100. Now you're at $675. The next month, you make a $200 payment. See, you're effectively paying down that debt. And each month, your credit score is going up and up and up, okay? And you're gonna do that until you get to that 30%, which is your $300. And once you get there, credit score is gonna be looking lovely compared to what it was before. So this is another way to effectively manage debt. And actually, Way number 2 looks much better than way number 1, because way number 2 shows that you know how to manage debt over a period of time to then show financial acquisitions that you can manage to acquire that asset that you're trying to get, whether it's a house or a car, because you're effectively managed the prior debt that you have. Okay. So if you need more assistance, moneymoempire.com. Fill out a form. It will get to moi. All right. Bye.